sign up for that, make a new email and sign up for the free trial if you have to. Like, yeah. And we are live. Hey, everybody, welcome back to. Oh, look, there he is, just in time. Jovi, I was just about to say how you were going to be joining us late, but just in time, Jovi joined us. You know, he watches Hulu with ads, so he was slowed down, but welcome, Jovi. And welcome, everybody, to Small Couch Reviews.
Good.
Live. Today, we are doing the season finale of Shogun, which I'm very mixed about. I know Matt said he slept like a baby. I don't know how, but we'll get into that.
Slept like a baby.
But yeah, as you know, Small Couch Reviews, your boy Sam and Jovi, and we have guests. Boy Matt Jones, who had been with us since the beginning. And we have another one, D'Angela. Would you like to introduce yourself?
I'm D'Angela. I am a former classmate with Jovi and Matt, art school. Yeah, we're carrying the conversation to my first time going live on anything to like one of my favorite shows this year.
Hey, what?
Yeah, so after we got off episode 9, she kind of called and was geeking out a little bit. So we were like, all right, yeah, you gotta get on this. So man, let me just start. Matt, I actually want to hear what you have to say, but I'm just going to say it, bro. I'm disappointed in the episode. Except of course when the hero came at the end.
I'm
disappointed. I'm disappointed in the episode. I'm not disappointed in the show, but it's like clearly last week was the finale. This felt more like an epilogue where we're just showing, okay, this is what's happening with everybody else. We didn't get to see the battle that we thought we were going to see. Toranaga just basically said, this is what's going to happen. I didn't get to see Ishido and them suffer like I wanted to. We didn't get any. I don't think we had any action scenes in this movie, or in this episode, I should say.
Yeah, no.
Blackthorn, I mean, I guess he's just stuck there forever.
He's just stuck. Okay with it? He's stuck there, but somehow has white grandchildren.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with that.
In a very Victorian bed.
I want to talk about that.
But I did tell you, Jovi, you said Mariko was like exploded into pieces. Her body was still so there was a chance.
My gosh. He picked that lifeless, she like a doll.
Yeah, man. That giant just basically kind of confirmed everything we thought, with the heir's mother basically turning on Ishido, like we were like, yeah, she's not gonna like that Mariko died.
No,
the council not liking how Ishido took it upon himself, him basically losing his support, and yeah, man, I mean, she saved the day. And only thing I'm missing, I'm very surprised that John did not basically attack Toranaga, because he loved that girl, and he knows that man took her from him. But that's all I'm gonna say. Matt, go ahead, bro. I want to hear what you got to say.
Just like everybody else.
So it's funny. I was talking to a coworker of mine who also watches the show, and we've been talking about this buildup, and after last night's episode, I said to him, "This is the opportunity. This episode is either a 10 out of 10 or a 0 out of 10. And the only way that this episode is a 10 out of 10 is if by the sheer ambiguity and emptiness of this episode, it forces the studio to make a second season. I would count that as a perfect way to end it. Because if
we're not getting a second season, bro.
I don't know. I don't know if that's true.
It had to be like halfway through when they were writing and filming this. They were like, I think we got a hit on our hands.
Well, we have to at least make it enough space to make something possible, right? Like, even if it's not the second season of Shogun, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's enough there that has been unexplored that you could make a spinoff or some sort of continuation of the show. Maybe Toranaga's not even in it. Maybe it's not even a Toranaga story. But you can make something about this process that happens. I want to point out something very, very important about these flash forwards that Blackthorn was having. Okay. One key element that indicates that those were not flash forwards was that in those flash forwards, he has the necklace in his hand.
Mm-hmm.
And at a very, very key point in this episode, he drops the necklace into the abyss of an
Mm-hmm.
of a lake. So we can see that like he's visualizing like what his future can be, right? But that is obviously not entirely the future. It's not really the story. It's what the story could be, and it's perfect because it's written in a way where you can see where things could go if they decided to kind of like leave this episode alone and let this be the finale, right? But it also leaves just enough doubt that it's like there's more to this story, and like like it's you can't if for me you can't just leave it in this way. To me,
Wait, I'm confused. If it's not a flash forward, what do you think it is?
I think it's him imagining what his life would be if he were to make certain decisions. I think it's him seeing even in the midst of these flash forwards, he's having flashbacks of times with Mariko and how she would say, "We live and we die, and we don't, we can't control anything." And he's just kind of like, and then he wakes up, right? It's always
the same face
by that, right? Yeah, like it's interrupted by that. But him dropping that into the ocean is enough for me to say either that is not what really happens, and that's not the way that the story goes, or there is so much that happens between now and then that somehow he gets this necklace back. And if you're not going to
watches
that,
sure.
You're right. If you're not going to explain
or it's
that
a new necklace.
Nah, that was hers. That was the point.
Yeah,
it's like, but
sword still. Like
she said that the last hands that she held, right? So like they made sure that they say that.
And then the story that like his grandson's like, he fought off an entire league of assassins with those swords. Bro, that's enough to create enough interest. Especially, I mean, we're talking about it because people are watching the show. It's like number 1 on Hulu. I think it's enough, bro.
There's a samurai helmet too in those flash forwards. Why would he have a samurai helmet? Like he has a helmet and everything in that room. Like he has he actually went to war, but we clearly he said we're not going to go to war. We are going to be a place of peace. They all going to roll up to that mountain and they're like, "Well, y'all can't fight me."
You gotta show that. Like Toranaga, like he gets to a point where he's actually about to commit seppuku, and it's like Toranaga looks at him like, "Now you a real nigga. Now, now we here. Now build my army."
Like, I actually didn't understand what Toranaga was trying to get out of him in that scene, out of Blackthorn.
Really?
Huh?
You didn't see how he was still playing the game.
I'm not even playing with him.
He was still playing the game. He was still like, okay, let's see how well you pay attention. Let's see how well you're dialed in. We're going to find the person responsible for sinking your boat.
And he did it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and it took Blackthorn just really like, I understand now. I understand that like, this is not a choice that you made, but this is something that you did with Mariko. It's not a choice. And I think that's the reason why he probably didn't like lash out in the way that, like you said, he probably would have, because he really loved her. Yeah. Right. So I think that in those moments he realized, okay, so now he understands the importance of life and death and dying on the hill that you're like, your words, right? And I think that we have to see him build this army, man. I think we have to see him build this army,
bruh. Like the thing. I want to get D'Angelo in here, but the thing I'm just saying, like, remember we talked about too much of a good thing. They're not gonna make a second season just to make a second season. Like they're not gonna do that. Like, and I think like their strength is they knew where they wanted this to end. But yeah, man. Jovi, I know you got notes, but like I said, so D'Angelo. tell us what thoughts are jumping out of your head about this episode right now?
I feel
or the
like
season overall.
I feel lost. I feel like I don't know how to say his name. Is it Yabashige?
Yes.
Yeah, my man who wanted to just go home.
I feel like him. My head got chopped off. I feel like Toranaga is just Death Row Records at this point. Like, I'm just like, what? You're not going to see no fighting, no action. We're not even seeing this to fruition. Like, but like, there's so much room for, elaboration. There could be prequels. I was very interested to see what's up with his brother and him, like what that backstory is. And I for sure thought that he was going to be somehow involved with like the secret plan.
Smoothest guy in Japan.
But I just when he talks,
just like all of like everything that happened, I'm like they would leave us with this like longing for more, because that's a part of Japanese culture, is the torture within, that you have to have the stamina to withhold. But and also like Mariko, she got what she wanted.
She didn't go out the way she wanted to though.
And she was Crimson Sky, just like he
said. We called that, yeah.
But yeah, I feel like I don't think anyone else knew that except Toranaga, because Crimson Sky was supposed to be an all-out assault.
She knew.
Yeah, she knew the whole time.
And Blackthorn even realized that. He said, "Man, he got exactly what he wanted. No war, no bloodshed. He got all of the responses that he wanted from one woman."
So I wonder what would have happened if Mariko had escaped and did not die. Does that mean Crimson Sky failed?
Yeah, he knew that he knew that she wasn't going to be able to leave.
Well, no, I mean, so remember, she could have escaped with his with the woman who had his baby, like they wanted to. You know what I mean?
You mean earlier in the story?
Yeah, earlier in the story, like she got her papers and like Ishido's like, you can leave now. I wonder what happened if she had just taken the papers and walked out the front door. You know what I mean?
Like, no, he said in the morning. He said they could leave in the morning.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah, they had to leave in the morning.
Which brings me back to something we talked about last week. Ishido's plan. I don't understand what this man was thinking. Every single person knew it was him. They just knew it. They knew it. And it's like
everybody. It's like they're sitting on the council like, bro, come on, dog. Like,
but even them, they were like saying it like, who could have ever possibly done this?
Right.
Over at him like the little Dotson meme.
Right. Oh, and Jovi, you were happy. The man you hate, he covered up his face.
Oh my gosh. I was like, that's one of my notes. I was like, oh, so now you want to cover up. When everybody's sitting in a circle. Creepy.
I watched you guys like the review y'all did. Why are you going my man behind the curtain like that?
That's Jovan. Don't say y'all. That's him.
He has no reason to ever keep that thing.
He calls him a monster.
Scared me every time.
Don't go in on him. He had slight, morals, when it came to standing up to.
But it was more like a Christian thing. He kept pulling the Christian card.
True.
And I was like, so you have half your council that are Christians, half your council that are traditional.
And your brother got syphilis.
Yes.
Your cousin got syphilis. I mean, they got up and left. That was the funniest part of this entire season.
The whole bloodline cursed. The whole bloodline.
Oh man.
Yeah, man.
So,
like maybe y'all should just take the L. Stop.
Because I just don't understand why he wasn't covered in that episode.
It was very random. He was just like,
no, I told you they spent so much money on that makeup. They were like, dog, we're filming at least 5 minutes of you.
His skin breathe. I definitely looked up the real actor and I was just like, wow, the makeup is beautiful. I mean, the cinematography, everything about this show, like technically, was amazing.
Oh yeah.
That is something. Even though I'm disappointed in that, like, not a lot happened, still every single shot, there's so much production in every single shot.
Yeah.
And the music, just the cameras themselves that they're using, you can tell they're very expensive.
Oh, heck.
I want to know how much this show costs. I gotta look that up because
watch it not be that expensive, and they're showing again that you can make good stuff.
That would
just like they've been making good movies on these small budgets in Japan.
I don't know, the editing alone. I don't know.
No, it's crazy.
If it isn't expensive, it sure does look.
It looks expensive. Like that. The color grading on the entire show is by far the best that I've seen in a very long time.
And even like when they do, special effects, like none of it is like it all looks so crisp and well done. It doesn't look.
It's not distasteful.
It's not distasteful. Like even when they do like the dismemberments and everything, like it really looks like, oh snap! At any point, it could get very real.
I was say Sam noticed that fingers got cut off in that scene. Like that's a detail that was not needed. We didn't need to have the fingers falling.
So because I'm speaking into existence, when we get the announcement that it has been renewed for a new season, does that make this episode better to you?
Yeah, Sam, that is a good question.
Say that again.
When we get the announcement, because I'm speaking into existence, that we will, that it has been renewed for a second season, does that make this episode better to you?
No, it doesn't. Because so again, I'm disappointed in the fact that we didn't get a lot of like action, and a lot of stuff was told to us, and we see John's potential future or whatever, and there's just not a lot happens. It's just more so mourning Mariko and seeing the impacts of her decisions. But a second season, it'll just be basically, it sounds like if it's what you want, what you're saying, it'd be an extension of this episode. Like we just see everything they talked about span over 10 episodes. And I don't feel like I need.
I don't know if it'll be that though. I don't know if it'll be that.
I would want.
There's a lot that has to happen. He has to secure the army from it's a whole lot that has to happen between that. And then this should just be throwing it out there. How interesting would it be for things not to go exactly how Toranaga thought?
Actually,
right now, if
historically it does go exactly how he said it did, though.
Exactly, but I feel like there's a lot of space in between.
Just a different universe.
It's like
offshore as well. We know that Japan was colonizing as well. We know the Spanish and the Portuguese got busy. The English started getting busy in the Pacific. So
it's interesting over there.
We can have some offshoots before it comes back. I feel like if they circled back around to the Toranaga storyline, it wouldn't seem so boring.
Yeah. Even if we don't see the final battle, seeing the other stuff.
Right.
Yeah, have some action and bring it back to the peaceful journey. But I don't know. It was so interesting for them to not end with a bang.
Yeah.
I was definitely the anticipation for an entire, when I text y'all, I was like, oh yeah, I'm not done yet. I was really done. I didn't realize that it was done. You know what I got? I got that wife beater pulling a boat. That's what I got. I'm expecting something else to happen after he cuts one of his best soldiers' heads off.
I'm trying to tell you.
That real talk.
It was to enact a sense of community and everybody demanding that we get more.
But he made a comment. He made a comment saying that he'll burn the boat again.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I'm like, why are you playing with this white man?
He has a plan.
Because he said he makes me laugh. It said it makes me laugh.
Very, very. I thought that was an interesting conversation too. The Yabushige and Toranaga conversation.
Yabushige was played, bro. And I feel kind of bad. Again.
What are you talking about? Yabushige was the one doing the playing for the entire.
Now he was playing both sides. But look. Right. He was like, you're not. He was promised to live if he just let these people in, thinking they're gonna capture Mariko. They kill Mariko, and the person who promised to let him live sends him back to the person who can kill him. Like, he had no choice in this, man.
In a crazy.
And it's just,
I mean, he didn't
even
know
though
that
I'm mad at
he was
him
gonna die
for what he did, it's just like, yo, he really didn't want to be any of this. He didn't want.
He's Kanye. He really is Kanye. It's like you love him, but you hate him.
I wouldn't even give him that.
Having issues mentally. He's playing all the fields.
Bro, he was shell shocked after that explosion. My man.
Yo, when he was in that pond,
catfish.
he was like, "There are no fish in here, but I'm still trying to catch fish." I was like, "Oh yeah, he gone." I was
He's
like,
gone,
"Something
bro.
wrong with him."
He was like, "Yo, she got killed." Like, for a freaking soldier to be so shocked like that. That's how you know he didn't want that to happen.
No, he realized
didn't want that to happen.
I think that knowing that the end is inevitable, no matter how you swing this, is like. He was going back to Toranaga, and even in that conversation, that's why I brought it up, because it was like it was almost this weird like friendship that they have, and it's like Toranaga's like, I trust you to be yourself, and that's why. Yeah, it's like I trust you to be yourself, and that's why we're even in this situation. You played your part the same way that everybody else played their part. Yeah. We're only here in victory because you did exactly what I expected you to do. I didn't have to tell you to do anything. I didn't have to like.
Yeah, you can't be mad at that.
Yeah.
You can't be mad at that. But he still had to go.
Yeah,
he still had to go.
Still got to go.
I thought there was a little chance maybe Miracle, like maybe she survived, but no.
Nah, bro. When he dragged her lifeless body, I was like, "What? Is that a sack of potatoes? What? Why is that?" She was just, and I was like, I didn't realize how small she was.
I don't know, man. I feel like they leave a lot. They leave.
You know what? One thing I do want to say that you're probably talking about, Matt, the heir's mother, all the hatred she had for Toranaga, that doesn't just go away. You know?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Like, I want to know what she's planning to do with her son.
So
I guess we know Toranaga becomes Shogun. So
yeah,
what happens to the heir? You know what I mean? Like, so I guess there are questions there, but I don't know if we got a whole another 10 episodes out of it.
I think definitely with the way that they tell the story,
we gotta get a history lesson.
We got Blackthorn still there. His men are still there. Don't forget that his men are still in Osaka. Like, it's a lot that we could explore with that story before we get to the war. And let's be real. In the essence of what this show is compared to now, it's not far-fetched for like a Game of Thrones-esque storyline for a second season. Like, we could see a lot of other stories fleshed out, while this one is kind of like catching momentum.
Would it take away from the historical piece and just from what we got? You know, we got a pretty darn good series. We don't get those like you anymore.
Have faith that I don't have. Like, when people start trying to make something because it's profitable rather than because they have a story to tell. That's the stuff.
But I agree, but they do have a story to tell, is what I'm saying.
But I would hope they have something written.
They do have a story to tell. They have a whole book and a whole actual real life events that they can pull from to tell this story. You have to think about it. The end of this season to when he becomes Shogun, that's not a short period of time at all. It's a nice chunk of time. So it's a lot.
Would you want more John though?
I would. I think that it puts us in Japan. I think that's his only.
Does he have two white kids?
I mean,
two white grandkids. Okay, well, that doesn't make sense.
Because in the season is called hypothetical Shogun.
Because like the bed, even with like nothing about that looked like Japan. Even him being that old, it would not be enough time that Japan would start taking in like a English and American cultures and stuff like that. It would just be like even Portuguese culture. You wouldn't have this sprawl of a bed in this room with all your knickknacks. Like that doesn't even seem. It just didn't seem right.
I think in those moments where he thought he was going to die, he was imagining what it would be like if he lived out his entire life.
So he would go back home. Yeah,
on
like
his deathbed.
Like he actually got to go home.
Yeah.
And he actually got
and he realizes it's the same thing. Yeah. I'm about it, like you live and you die. Like you don't control anything else past that. Right?
He ain't say a word. The flash forward.
He didn't. It looked like
so
he was
lost. Just so lost with those watery eyes. Season. Why your eyes watering? Get him some freaking drops or something.
Yeah, I think him dropping that joint in the lake was like the indicating factor that, oh, okay. He was thinking about that, but then he actually let go of trying to.
I will honestly say that's the only thing I didn't like about the episode. Then,
wait, which one?
Just like the flash forwards, because it just leaves this weird like. That's up for interpretation. I don't want that. I wanted a solid ending, and we didn't get a solid ending.
That's what I'm saying. Do you want? If you could choose? Right. Would you rather them try to force into an hour battle sequence, war, all of these things, and then you see at the end
and morning,
and then they crown him as Shogun at the end, or do you trade that for a episode 10, which pretty much forces the fan base to demand that they give you more of the show? So they can tell that story over, let's say it's not even 10 episodes. Let's say it's 8 episodes. They tell that story over 8 episodes, and then you can really feel like, okay, this was well fleshed out.
Yeah, no, I feel like I enjoy it. I feel like Sam's the only one I did enjoy the ending like this. I enjoyed it. I think it does leave, but I love that it leaves room for interpretation from us as fans.
I didn't enjoy it.
Yeah. You didn't?
I'm grateful, but I didn't enjoy it.
You didn't enjoy it? Okay. I did. I mean, I think not necessarily like from a storytelling standpoint, but from a just, visual, and just it sounds so good. Like by half of the episode, I set up the surround sound down here, and I was like, oh my gosh, I can hear the footsteps of them walking. Like it's just all so it's like someone took time. There was a microphone next to some footsteps. This is the guy, like
you can hear the
yeah. And I was like, yo, this is cool. So that's, I think I got, like, again, I'm ready to continue the conversation. It's like, oh, what the heck did that mean? Or what is actually going to happen? But if you want to literally go on Google and see historically what happens, we can see. So,
yeah, I mean, that's what I'm saying. So I feel like we're all thinking like, man, we wish we had more. But at the same time, this wasn't a bad episode, even if it was disappointing. Like it's a weird like, place. It's like a weird limbo we're in, where it's like, man, can't really say it was bad, but it's like, dang, y'all could have given me more.
I'm not gonna lie. You could say it was bad, right? You could say it was bad, but remember, like maybe 3 episodes ago, when we're like looking at where things are going, and we're like, yeah, this joint's gonna have an absolute definitive ending.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then after last week's episode, I'm like, there's no possible way that they can wrap up everything about this story in 1 hour. There's no possible way. Either it's going to be really bad and they're going to try to, or it's going to be this. And I was
Mariko didn't get enough. I needed a full 15 minutes of the funeral. Like I needed more. She was so important. They talked about her all like throughout the whole episode.
No, her presence was in the episode, in my opinion.
Yeah, but I was like, man,
talking with Fuji. Is that her name? Fuji. He's like the translator. Like it's just like it's It's like palpable in there. It's like something is missing here.
Fuji. We didn't get to see Fuji fight.
Fuji fight, man. And He Blackthorn, when she's like, I'm gonna be a nun, he's like, nah, you're not leaving me. He's like, I command you to stay. Like that was, I feel like that was a complete like him just reaching because he didn't want to lose something else, just like he just lost Mariko.
Yeah,
because he's not really like that. I mean, I think literally right after he was like, you know what, you're gonna be the best nun ever, or something like that. So.
Yeah, right. That's exactly so. Yeah, you know what, you're gonna be, and he kept saying it.
Right,
because it's like he's still learning Japanese, so he just kept saying the word, and she's like, "Yeah, that's the hell I won't be, bro. I'm gone. I did what I was supposed to do. I didn't want to do this. I kept your house clean. We had to sit out here. You had that rat, the pheasant hanging, stinking up the whole town. Like,
cost my man's life.
From episode,
literally killed the gardener, man.
From episode 6,
that's the worst death of the whole series.
So that brings me. I kind of wanted to wrap this up, y'all. We got the whole series now. What was the high point of the series for you? Let's go in Jovi. Let's start with you. What was the high point for you, bro?
Oh my gosh, you gotta get. I was not prepared.
I know, put you on the spot, man.
What is the high point, bro? The first thing that really comes to mind is Mariko fighting. And we like really got to see that she is that nigga. Like, even her commands in the beginning, like, kill this nigga, like, so we can go. Yeah. Like, we are getting through this. I think that was one of the coolest. She didn't say
kill this man so we can go. She said, "Can you please kill him?"
Yeah.
Just like something real quick. Did you notice how when Toranaga told Yabushuke to kill himself, he was like, "Please make sure you kill yourself by sunset tomorrow." It's like, please cut open your stomach by sunset tomorrow. Right. It's like, how are you asking me so politely to do this? I'm gonna be like, nah, I don't think I will.
We discussed that on the first episode. Their view on death is totally different from what our view on death is in this century, in this time frame, bro. Like, they're like this is Earth. This is now. I've done what I'm supposed to do. I'm being good to my Lord. I've done everything I'm supposed to do. I'm going to kill myself, and that's it. And he's like, "Yo, give me a better death, dog. Like, please give me a better death."
He said he wanted to be eaten by fish or something.
Yeah, but it was like, this is weak. It's like, I've been in war, and you want me to sit and kill myself? Like, even so, I'll say, yeah. My favorite part was that whole episode of her. Yeah. Honestly, that whole episode, like, seeing that sweet translator really show her side of, she was literally trained to be this powerful woman by her father that was killed. Like, you got to see it all come together, and I think that was probably the biggest highlight for me of, like, full circle series wise. Like, that would have been a cool, if we're really talking about continuation, that'd have been a cool ending.
I agree. I got you, man. And it is. I mean, man. I mean, I know I said I don't want a second season, but seeing, I guess, the resolution with her father, like knowing that, Toranaga got I guess, absolution for him. That would be something cool to see, because her family was cursed for basically doing the right thing. But
right.
Yeah, bro. What about you, man? What was your high point of the season, Matt?
I'd have to agree. Like, episode 9, it gave you everything. It gave you kind of like that weird, like, from episode, I want to say episode 5 all the way until then, where every episode ended with like a, oh my gosh, type of moment. It gave you that. It gave you finally seeing, full-fledged fight scenes with samurai and all of that. It gave you everything, man. It gave you everything. And I agree. Like, that could have been like if you knew that this was going to be a second season, that would have been the best season finale ever. You ended with that explosion. That would have been like,
yes,
that would have been the best season finale ever. But I feel like,
but then she would have to be alive, because that would be so sucky to wait a year or a year and a half to find out that she.
Oh, you just open the season with the funeral,
right? Open with her dad.
Oh,
God. Then you have a whole 2-3 years of everybody. Is she alive? Is she? You know what I mean?
Right.
But yeah, no. That I would say that was probably the highlight for me.
That was me for 10 minutes. Is she alive?
Yeah.
I was distracted by the time left in the episode. Like, is there time enough to like explore this?
It's like after the freaking drive time commercial, am I gonna get the rest of the episode, or is it gonna be the credits? That was me today. I was like, all right. He took a drink from his mortal enemy after pulling his ship in. Drive time. It just took me out of it.
Gotcha. All right, D'Angela, what about you? What was your high point of this 10-episode season?
All right, so it's time to get ratchet.
Oh
Lord.
I love. Wait, this episode or this season?
Season.
I love the episode. I don't know if it like went into the next one, but when Toranaga's son took over them cannons.
Blew them horses up.
Oh yeah.
I was just like, no. Like he listened to the Applehead dude, the nephew, and man.
Yes, the nephew wins. He lost his uncle, but he wins.
He did.
Another plot point that could be further.
He got everything he wanted.
Nah. Nobody cares about the nephew, dog. He was one of the worst characters.
He is now who what you call it was. He is Toranaga's right-hand man.
Yeah.
And he's a traitor. He's somebody who's a sleazeball. So it's like I would want to see that play out.
What he lost his worde. How about that?
True. And she about to get a whole
complex. Yeah, but they're in Osaka. They're gone.
Oh, I'm about to say she didn't die. They just moved.
Yeah. They started
they moved to Edo. They moved to Edo.
Oh, they moved to Edo. Okay. Yeah.
If they're successful, they could be reunited.
Yeah, I mean, do you think Toranaga will trust him because he also knows? I know he knows.
Yeah, he knows
exactly. He don't trust that man.
Yeah, but no, that scene was cool as hell. That by far one of the coolest things I've seen on TV in a long time.
Then the slow burn fave was I forgot his name. Toranaga's friend, the right hand man. I did not think that.
Yeah.
And for Miracle's husband.
Oh, you're talking about the dude who killed himself. Yeah,
like he had to kill his daddy. Like,
he had to kill his daddy.
I did not think that was gonna.
He's a wife beater, so it doesn't matter.
Very true. But that was like a slow burn like episode for me because I was just kind of like following like what's going on here. And I was shocked when he got that head chopped off. Like
he bought his homie time. He knew
his son.
He's looking right in his eyes like
I'm not gonna live. Like I know what he's doing, but it's like, bro, I lose Mariko, I lose my son,
and he lost his falcon.
Like, all for the country. Is it worth it at that point?
Gave away his falcon. Why did he let the falcon go?
We see what happens eventually.
I thought he was gonna die, but I was like, there's no way he would die. Why would you get rid of your cool falcon?
You know what was so interesting about that?
What?
The line that he said when he let the falcon go. He tells the falcon to go and bear many daughters. I just thought was so interesting.
And he also mentioned how at least I got sons.
Right. I thought it was so much.
Brought the baby.
But he almost said it in a sarcastic way, right? They're like, so sorry what happened to your son. He's like, well, good thing I have more.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it was kind of
holding this baby. Say, this one will be all right.
When all of these sons is effing up the entire show. And it was the daughter that was literally the one that was
making these connections, man.
She put the plan together. Yeah,
she was the hero. It was all about her from the get-go.
Mm-hmm.
Really? So let me tell you my favorite moment because you just mentioned
she got beat.
She was the hero. I have a question, Matt. Why was she allowed to be a hero? Who kept her alive all these years?
Toranaga.
14 years. Who kept her alive?
Toranaga.
Oh, really? Was Toranaga married to her? The Toranaga
he said, I don't care what you do with your wife, but you're gonna keep my translator. You're not gonna put a finger on my translator.
Yeah.
He said divorce her.
He said, if you don't like her, divorce her.
Divorce her.
Okay, what happened to 13? What happened to 14 years before that, though?
She wasn't in
Tornaga's care. She wasn't in Tornaga's care. She was trying to escape and kill herself in the blistering cold.
Okay. All I'm saying is if she wasn't there, Toranaga would not be Shogun. And the only reason she's there is because
Toranaga was not in the position that she was in, she would have killed herself a long time.
Even though he kept her alive, but not for a good reason.
And he abused her while he kept her alive.
He kept her. What do you mean? He kept her alive because he loved her, Jovi?
She kept her alive for him. We have said this for 3 episodes.
I know
of this.
That's actually not even my favorite part. I just wanted to see what Joe would say. Real talk, the high point of the season for me, it was when the gardener died. Because right then, I think we talked about it. That's when I feel like I was John at that moment. That's when I realized these people are different. Like, this entire country is different. Mm-hmm. You killed this sweet old man over a bird? Like his face was my face. I was just like, I can't believe it. Like, what did you do? What did you people do? You people are crazy. And I think that's the moment when the show really, like, it really clicked for me that, like, I can't think about this the way I'm used to thinking about this because they are just, they are different. Clearly, which the next couple of episodes showed me. So that was really it, man. That scene right there kind of just, it changed my entire thinking about how I have to watch this show. And I loved it. I really did. The character development, the arcs, what their motivations, all of that stuff kind of just became clearer and like more potent for me. So
that's what
that was the moment.
Good writing.
R.I.P. to the gardener, bro. He did not deserve it.
We need to make t-shirt. I'm making a t-shirt for BlurredCon with the gardener on it. He didn't deserve that with the clouds in the background.
Yeah, man.
Like, your guys, your overview when you're saying like words have meaning to them.
Yeah.
Like, it's the most powerful thing that you can control.
Right. And that's the other, like, that's it right there. It's like, bruh, I just said don't touch it. Like, you were like, you killed this man for touching a bird.
Like, don't touch it. He said die.
He said
die.
Die.
Die. And he kept saying die. And it's like, no, bro, that's not the word that you want to use. How about you don't say something in Japanese when you don't have Mirako around? Like, that was not the time to start saying words like that.
Because you don't understand.
I don't know die in the other language. I wouldn't try to say that. Or I don't know. Just say no.
You could have easily just said no.
No.
And it's amazing how we got attached to the gardener so quickly. Just by
he was spitting game too.
But they sowed that seed from the beginning where he gave him the Sama title, and she's like, we don't use Sama for him. And Blackthorn was like, dang, y'all, I mean, he doesn't deserve to be respected, right? Like, it's clear that Blackthorn felt like, okay, like this guy's really nice.
Right.
And that's why it sucked so much, bro. Like, you could really feel the pain in him when that happened.
Yeah. But then what Yabushige said to Toranaga at the end, like, I can't remember exactly what it was, but like, how does it feel to control the wind or something like that?
Oh, yeah.
It's like even the fact that the gardener became the scapegoat for the alleged spy in the village. Like, everything worked out perfectly for Toranaga.
He gave the perfect response. He said, I don't, what did he say? He said, I don't control the
listen.
Wind, I study it. He said, I study it.
I study it.
And it's like, yo, I mean, Toranaga's that name.
But this is historically, the ones that win the wars don't win it just by brute force.
No.
It's about the playing the game, playing chess, the intelligence of war, the art of war. Like, it is that's it. Like, it is more to it than just going and being a brute. And his calm demeanor just made his character so dynamic. It's like, why are you so chill? But you got a little tear. I see it coming. I see it, but she's still. But he would turn away. And then just and it would be behind. It'd be a shot from behind, and then they would come to front like, "Oh, he crying. He really felt something," but he wouldn't let anybody else see him like that. I don't even think the person is that considered his wife, the one that had the baby?
Yeah. One last.
No, his wife was older. His wife was older.
Okay.
Yeah, that's how they did it weird. They did it weird like that out there.
All right. As long as you can give me a son.
I like that this show shows us practice makes perfect. Because Toranaga cut off that head in one stroke this time.
Oh, I said the same thing. I was like, well, that was one time.
Right, because when he said be my second, I was like, are you sure you want that? Because the man takes like 12 swings.
He said 12. Could you imagine a freaking 9-year-old just swinging the sword?
Oh my God.
And everybody's just like, oh,
right.
Yeah, man. 9
times? There's literally no way that the person who was getting killed could keep quiet.
I know, man. Like, yeah.
So you know that it was like,
but you know what? He's an idiot for asking him.
No, he did it on purpose. He did it on that man that was like, I know you can't cut through.
Oh yeah,
you're 9. You're not strong enough.
Joke's on him. Toranaga's still here and more powerful than ever.
Right.
All right, y'all. Any final thoughts? Any final words on this? What has been an incredible season?
Do we want to do a 4-way score? Do you want to put your score up out of 5? I already know mine, regardless from what this was great.
That's actually really hard, Joey. I really didn't even think
that's really hard.
This is great.
All right, what are you thinking, Jovi? What would your score be?
Man, I don't know. You guys like this way too much. I'm giving this thing a 5. I think I enjoyed this way too much that for me to give it anything.
I think it was a 5, but just my disappointment in the fact that episode 10 was like if it was 9 episodes, it would be a 5. But episode 10 having existed and just being, like I said.
No, I think we all agree that episode 9 was the finale. And 10
I give it probably a 4.5.
Yeah, I feel like
4.5 is decent. That's respectable. What about you, D'Angela?
I'm gonna go with the 5 because I was invested. I was excited.
Yeah.
Technical, and then also I also loved it in Japanese. Like they didn't cater to Americans and English speakers. Like they kept it real. Kept us educated. Made us read fast.
Oh man, I feel like this episode has so much dialogue. I was just like, I rewound a few times. What did he say? So no.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it a 5.
5. Okay. 2 5s and 2 4.5s.
Yeah, I feel like
accountant, do the math.
It can only be a 5 if there's a season 2. If there's
okay,
2, then I have to give it a 4.
They may not want to ruin it though. There's a lot to live up to.
I think that it is.
You know how bad Hollywood has been lately with coming off success.
That's what I'm Matt. You really just seem to think that they could just duplicate this again.
I'm
trying to tell you, it's not gonna happen, bro.
I'm not saying
it's going to be worse in every way.
Why do
everybody's going to compare it to?
Why do we feel that way?
Why do we feel
Hollywood?
Why? Because they had a set story and they're stretching it out for profit now. You see what I'm saying?
No. That's where the disconnect is. They do have a set story, and they chose not to finish it.
What do you mean? They finished the book.
I'm talking about the set story of how he becomes Shogun. That's what I'm saying.
Okay, so but then you see, you're talking about they're trying to go into history now.
I agree, and I think that's why it was a beautiful series, because they ended it in a way where it can be the end. This 100% can be the end. But I think in the style in which they did it, it also could not be the end. It also could be the beginning of another show, which, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it could be that be its own entity, but then you could say, okay, we're going to take the Shogun like style and structure and flesh out a show that could do these same things.
Fuji I got show. 2 points on that. First off,
follow Fuji.
This definitely was the end, because the last shot is the shot of Toranaga when the camera's panning and it just cuts to the word Shogun. So that just tells you what he's about to be. But also, like
and they
Jovi
played
said,
the title song at the end.
Yeah, like Jovi said, 10 more episodes come out. Do you really think that those 10 episodes are going to be better than the 10 episodes we just watched?
I don't know when you're
going to watch them and not compare.
I don't. I do not need them to be better. I don't need them to be better. I just need them to not be terrible.
But okay, so you see that again. That I don't know. Like, I feel like if you have a show that's a 10, right, and then you bring out another season that's like an 8, it's like, why did you do this? Like, you just made the thing worse than it was. That's what I'm saying.
You're telling me if I get season 1 is a 10 and then season 2 is an 8, and I'm like, why did you make season 2?
Yes, no, that's what I'm saying.
8's not bad.
It's not bad. That's what I'm saying.
Not bad. I would agree with you. Something that was essentially
it's like
perfect.
A 6.
If it was like a 6 or a 5, then I'd be like, man, they probably should.
Like, why did y'all do this?
But if they could do the backstory of Mariko's father and Toranaga and that whole.
I would like to watch that. I would like to watch that.
The argument could be applied to anything. It could be applied to John Wick. It could be applied to so many things where they've decided, you know what? We can tell more of this story. And I think that there have been.
I agree. Do you think John Wick 2 was better than John Wick 1?
Me personally, but I don't think John Wick 1 was the best one out of all of them.
You think Ballerina's going to be good?
Okay. But
that's a sub
movie based off the success of the first, and it was not that great. So,
but it was good. I enjoyed it.
All of them have been good.
Yeah.
So it wasn't as great as the first one.
It doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be.
It does. It does. You can have a show that's this good, and then give us something that is lesser. You have diluted perfection at that point, and you've messed up. You shouldn't have done
it. So you're saying just don't touch
Game of Thrones season 8.
Yeah, but that's season 8. Every season 8 was not better
rushed. It was rushed. You can't give.
Yeah, that's season 8.
It's very hard to compare other series to that.
Season 4, season 5. You could discredit all of those seasons. Come on, bro.
It was rushed. It was so rushed. But we knew it was like they were telling us how rushed when that joint was being filmed and everything. Like they were coming out talking about it's not what we usually do. To your point,
Sam, there was a show that came out that I absolutely loved the first season because it was based off of a book and it was really good. The Flight Attendant. I really, really enjoyed watching The Flight Attendant.
Yeah,
that was a lot of fun. Second season comes out. I barely make it to 2 episodes.
Okay.
Because I can tell that it's just not the same. It doesn't have the same tone. It doesn't have the same, pace, nothing, right?
I only watched the first episode.
So I understand your concern. I do, because it would suck if we tune into season 2 of Shogun and it's not a whole
party.
And that would retroactively make the. I feel like that would retroactively make the series.
I agree with that. But I guess I just have a lot of faith in all of the things that they put into this show. Because I've listened to the podcast, the behind the scenes, all of the people and things that they put into the show. If they put that exact same attention to detail into the second one and just let the writers tell the story creatively, of course, of how he becomes Shogun, I would, and like we said, we don't even have to see him become Shogun. It could be just other stories surrounding the Shogun story to tell us how this was achieved, right? We don't even have to see the last battle. But
okay, so I just have
a pipe dream. It's a pipe dream. I don't know. Maybe
it's just I see what if you. But again, if the writers themselves said, "Oh, I have more story to tell," fine.
Right.
But this seems like something where a studio would be like, "This made a lot of money. You have to write a new story," and the writers would be like, "I don't have a story to tell," so they'd find other writers to do it. Okay, and then we would get a lesser product.
Hopefully not.
And that's what I fear would happen because I think that's what happens.
That's a legitimate fear. It is. It's a legitimate fear.
But we've been going a little long. That's all I got. Shogun, you guys can let us know if you want to see season 2, like Matt, or if you don't like me. But like Joey saying right down there in the comments, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Guests, thank you for joining. We have to have you on more.
You know what it really is, Sam?
What?
I want to keep doing this with you guys, man.
Okay. I was just about to say, we can do this. There's a ton of other shows, man. I watched all of Fallout on an airplane. We were talking about that before we came on.
Because this guy hopped on a plane to London.
Yeah, I watched all 8 episodes. It was fantastic.
It's only 8?
It's only 8. I watched that and I watched Invincible. That was it.
Man, I watched so much Fallout lore because that wasn't necessarily my type of game back in the day. Now I think it's the coolest thing ever. And it's so deep. No Diddy. And they really put detail into the show, I've been told.
Yeah, they did. They're telling I think it's I haven't played all of them. I think the last one I played 3, which was great. And I played New Vegas, which was not good. Did I play 76? I think I did.
I didn't even download 76. It didn't work. It didn't work when it came out.
Yeah.
Apparently it's a good game.
So that was the one I didn't like. I think I did like New Vegas. One of them I hated. But they're telling a whole new story, set in the same world. It's really interesting. I think you guys would dig it. All to say, this will not be the last live we do.
Seriously.
All right?
Yeah. I would love for us all 4 to knock that series out and really talk about it and go a little in depth of just even like I don't know. D'Angelo, have you ever played a Fallout game?
I've sat on a couch while people played.
Hey, and I've watched people play, but I have not played more than 5 minutes. I started 4 and I just was like, this is not for me. But this was a long time ago.
Yeah.
Really?
I think I was on Crash Bandicoot in at the time.
Hey. It's a cool series if you like that kind of game. So yes. And if you're still with us, we will be at BlurCon Friday night. So first night of the con. Come kick it with us and see if you can guess a movie. The best movies, some of the best movies that we all love over here on the small couch. That's it.
All right, man. That was it, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time, we out.
Deuces.